Hello students, in this video we are going to study First Flight book chapter 1st, A Letter to God. In previous video we discussed that Lancho crop was destroyed by rain, and along with rain very large hailstones began to fall. The field was white as covered with salt, and nothing is remained. Even the flowers leaves were destroyed properly. So now we will start from next para. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lancho's soul was filled with sadness. The corn was totally destroyed. Nothing is left in the Lancho's field. Even though not a leaf remained on the trees, the flowers were gone away from the plants, but here Lancho's soul was filled with sadness. The Lancho was very sad because his crop was destroyed by rain or very large hailstones. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his sons, "A plague of locusts would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing." Locusts means insects which fly in a big swarms or group and destroy crops. He stood in the middle of the field and said to his sons, "Nothing is left. This year we will have no corn." That night was a sorrowful one. All our work for nothing. There's no one who can help us. We will all go hungry this year. Really, that night is sorrowful for Lancho, and whatever he did the hard work for growing a crop in field, that is a useless. And he's saying there no one who can help us, and this year we will go hunger. All through the night, Lancho thought only of his one hope, the help of God, whose eyes, as he had seen, instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. Conscience means an inner sense of right and wrong. That night, Lancho is not able to sleep well, and he was thinking, who will help us? At last, he understood that only here is a one who can help me, that is a God, and whose eyes, as he had been instructed, and he can see everything and anywhere. Lancho was an ox of man, working like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to ride. Here, Lancho was an ox of a man. It means he was a very hard working person, but he know how to read or write. The following Sunday at daybreak, he began to write a letter which he himself would carry to town and place in the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. Next day, in morning time, he wrote a letter to God himself and would carry to town to place in the mailbox. It was nothing else, that is, letter to God. What in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope, help from God. Don't be so upset even though this seems like a total loss. Remember, no one die of hunger. That's what they say. No one dies of hunger. Who lived in that solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope, help from God. Lancho was thinking that nobody is going to help me this year. Only God will help me and He is going to feed me. And he told, no one dies of hunger. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hunger this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes. He wrote a letter to God. He wrote in that letter, please give me 100 pesos so I can sow my field again and to live until the crop comes. Because the hailstorm destroyed my field completely, nothing is left to eat. He wrote to God on the envelope, but the letter inside and still troubled went to town. At the post office, he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped in the mailbox. He wrote in that letter that God please help me, otherwise my full family will going to hunger this year. And he went down. He placed a stamp on the letter and dropped into the mailbox. Remaining portion we will complete in next video. Okay, bye. Then see you in the next video.